Just waiting for them to press go. They're doing the countdown now.
And we're off.
And we're off.
Coliseum 1, smack dab in the middle. I know the center goal doesn't usually matter too much in the card, but it's always funny to see what you get there. If it's something really easy or something really nasty like this one.
This is cool. We actually have a pretty good feed for the two. Syncing up with the two different stream delays, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, they're neck and neck here. Going through King's Pass, not too much room for variation, except both of them get softball.
Okay, so looking at this board, what's your first impression for starting side?
Okay, just looking at the border right here, the fastest goal is going to be Queen Stag and King Stag, I believe. Use 2 simple keys is also an option. Elder Who and Zero could be options depending on when Dream Nail occurs. But those 2 goals, the Stag Stations and the simple key, are kind of your options if you want to lock in a starting choice. And of course, there's always a possibility they'll find Sharp Shadow and have to make a decision on whether to mark it. As far as the borders actually look, though, a lot of randomized goals.
I'm not seeing one outright winner for a side either. Like one side that's just absolutely terrible and one that's really, really good. They all kind of have like an easy goal, a long goal, you know, kind of a good mixture of goals for all sides.
Yeah, I feel like the sides, their quality could vary a lot depending on, you know, where Claw is, where Wings is, where Dreamnail is. To the extent that I can't really say at this point that there's an outright advantage. Then you look at the middle 9. I don't even know. It's the bottom 3 look like the best out of those.
Yeah, Soulmaster and 6 maps for sure the easiest.
And Hive Knight is a guaranteed goal, even though it is slow. And row 5 itself is actually decently good. 2 simple keys and Nail 2 are both guaranteed goals. Descending Dark, you have a pretty decent chance of being able to find. Elder Who is very fast once you get Dream Nail.
Right. The only issue with that row, you know, like you're mentioning, is 3 of those 5 are random.
Right.
So,
they're fast. They're all fast random goals compared to, I don't know, Pale Lurker or Crystal Guardian too, but they are still random.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think row 1 looks uncomfortable.
Really?
Because
I thought row 1 I think is decently okay. I mean, there's a couple of boss goals, but
I guess it is. The boss goals aren't awful. I was thinking also about row 2, where
yes, that is the one that could really screw you. So if you're lucky with some pickups, row 2 is not bad at all.
True.
But you could be searching for a long time and be stuck in row 1 if you go with that one.
Yeah, 7 Grubs and Crystal Peak has a lot of item requirements, and everything else is also a little item difficult if this is your standard Wing Seed with a late Dream Nail and late Mantis Claw. But yeah, row 1 itself is pretty decent actually. Especially if there is, you know, early dive, decently early claw and wings. Just have to see on that.
Trinomi choosing to pick up the city crest. And what is he going to get here? Cloak.
Oh, that's definitely a great first item to get. You never want to be at a disadvantage in picking up Mothman Cloak.
We will not be walking for 2 hours.
Yes. That was the race last night. Yeah, very handy item, but doesn't really unlock many goals, so you can get a long ways without it. Oh, and that is on the card too. Fragile Greed.
1/3 of the way there.
Yeah, that's a goal you might not see marked for a very long time. 3 elements of randomization to it.
I think that's a pretty good pickup to get here early, especially if you're going to kill this giant husk on the way out. But early game Geo is very important, so having Fragile Greed really isn't that bad.
Yeah, especially when you have nothing better to equip at the moment. I believe it has one of its weaker effects on this particular enemy, like maybe 10% or so? 20%? Yeah, 20%. So, not bad at all. 9 extra Geo is still nice. But not really earth-shattering for their finances. So, looks like Trinomi is going to opt for an early Gruzmother Salubra rescue slide play. Not that he has too many options, but there's always that chance that one racer will go to Isilda early, try to snipe their opponent on something.
Yeah, it's not something you see very often. A divergence from this opening play.
Yeah, the best time too, if you were going to try and make that decision, would be before fighting False Knight.
Mm-hmm.
That way you maximize whatever advantage you get.
I still want to see someone rush Dark Room and just go to Resting Grounds immediately.
It's a very good option in a lot of cases.
I mean, it's 2 checks and 4 kind of checks right away.
Yeah, you can learn a lot about the card.
It's really hard to justify that, though, unless you're trying to make the, you know,
yeah, the big problem I have normally with an early Dark Room play is that there's a lot of volatility to it.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that, oh, and both Quick Focus and Deep Focus at Salubra. So that is actually kind of huge for that goal. Makes row 1 look much better now.
Oh,
too.
for sure.
Anyways, what I was going to say is that you have volatility because most of the time Dark Room will be fine, but sometimes it's catastrophic. So, whereas every other option in early game is pretty much 100% consistent.
Right, especially when you, in a case like this where you get Cloak super early, it makes the Salubra check free. It doesn't take that extra minute to set up the Shade Skip, so.
True. The Shade Skip is a huge time loss if it's not necessary. As in this case, Salubra didn't have any progression items. Great information, but if you set up the Shade Skip just for that, then you kind of feel like you wasted some time your opponent might not have.
Right.
Wow, and Fragile Heart and Defender's Crest too. So we were talking about all these randomized goals, and just a couple of minutes, they're vanishing off the board.
Yeah.
But that's a huge plus to row 5. And now that entire goal, all 3 fragile charms have been found.
Wow. That's making left column very attractive.
Yes, you don't see that very often at all.
I mean, even row 1 is really attractive with that too, because you're able to get right to the middle as soon as you get queens and kings stag stations.
Yeah. Main obstacle to that is that you actually need a fair bit of geo in order to buy all 4 charms required to make that path, but definitely available. Meanwhile, it does look like Trinomi is going to go for Dark Room. It is worth noting that Leg Eater is in logic with Mothman Cloak, and as is Mantis Claw and Dash Master. So this is not a guaranteed resting ground seed. So it does look like both players are going to make that play here.
Nope. Axe splitting off to go to fungal.
Never mind. Not sure that this path is faster coming from Dirtmouth? Maybe. I do like Trinomi's decision here, though, given that they have the geo troubles. Axe only has, I think, maybe a 6% chance of being able to buy something from Leg Eater after paying the fee to open the shop. So he might see something good there, but it'll be a while before he's able to pick up an item.
6%. That's pretty. I know where you got it from, but just
right. I believe it's a 2% chance for each geo increment, and it is on a 100 to 500 scale.
He did pick up a little bit extra, so that increases his chances by quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, fungal waste doesn't exactly lack for geonodes, big mushrooms that drop lots of geo and other stuff. So, you can always mention come back.
Plus, he does get a discount with Defender's Crest on, too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
VS.
Vengeful Spirit.
That's a sided reaction to the charms. It's very easy to forget about that you get a discount with that.
Right. Whereas with every other merchant it's negative, but Leg Eater likes the smell. But Vengeful Spirit is definitely a welcome early find. It's a great utility spell. Great for damage too. Not quite as useful once you have Mothman Cloak, but still can be handy in places.
There's Sharp Shadow.
Okay, what does Trinomi think of row 1? Doesn't look like he likes it. He leaves the room and loses 6 seconds to the load normalizer. Wraiths and Cyclone Slash hiding out in our seer items. Now, neither is on the card, but there is an edge case in which that Wraith pickup could be required.
That'd be very edge case.
That would require...
Oh, boy.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say it would require something like a Mantis Claw at a Bishriek, but that is not the seed.
Well...
Okay, so Mantis Claw makes row 1 actually much better. I was looking at this before, but 6 of the goals in the upper 3 rows are claw blocked. So that makes it much more favorable for a starting position now.
I'm somewhat surprised he's choosing to just hang on to Sharp Shadow at this point.
Yeah, it is very curious to me. I wonder what goal he wants to go for.
There he goes.
But yeah, I guess he was just taking a little time to piece through what his strategy would be with this row. He might have passed over it early on and had to reconsider now.
I think it's fairly important at this point that Trinomi does not reveal that he has found Claw. If he marks another Claw-related goal fairly quickly and Ax isn't seeing Sharp Shadow for a while, pretty easy to guess where he went to go and find that, so... not that he has a really easy Claw goal to mark right now anyway, but...
Okay, for a second I was wondering how Trinomi was going to check this, but I forgot that with Mantis Claw, it becomes trivial.
Yes, you can. That was put back in, Siplax.
So interesting to see from X, because he chose to do Mantis Claw first, he ended up having to quit out. Without checking Dashmaster, I think. Or did he even get to Mantis Claw? I missed what was happening on his side.
Yeah, I missed it too. He might have just missed it completely. I don't see anything on his tracker that shows he got anything. Doesn't have an extra Geo.
Maybe he got a small Geo pickup to forward Vengeful Spirit? I don't know. Or maybe he just quit out before getting there. Meanwhile, with that, the Mantis Lord Geo chest, which Trinomi just found, he'll be able to easily afford Vengeful Spirit. He does not use the Defender's Crest discount, though, even though it's in his inventory.
I'm sure you forgot about it.
Yeah, just like you were saying, I don't think I would remember it in this case.
So now any lead that Ax may have had by coming to Fungal earlier is just, it's gone.
X would have to find, I don't know, you'd have to find Wings almost immediately and capitalize on it in some way. But with Trinomi right on his heels, it's hard to see this as anything but time loss after that save quit.
Just trying to think right now what Trinomi's next play would have to be, or what he's thinking next. If he's just in search mode right now, if he's trying to go, you know, he does have the deep focus and quick focus goal available right now.
Need Geo for that, but he can just go to City of Tears right now with a standard any % shade skip and get the Geo he needs there. He also has access to the Pale Lurker goal, but I don't expect to see him prioritize that.
Nope, that would be surprising.
I do see some people mentioning early Deep Nest in chat, but I don't think that would be a very good play this seed.
Wow, that says a lot coming from you.
Well, there's only two Deep Nest blocked goals, Hive Knight and Galleon. We don't even have Dreamnail yet. If any player should consider it, though, it would be Ax, because of his Hive Knight is actually a decent-ish goal in row 4, though he should definitely get 6 maps in Soul Master before that. Actually, row 4 in general is pretty good, so I don't see a situation in which rushing Hive Knight would really pay out.
Do you think Ax at this point goes the green path before he goes to Resting Grounds?
It's very possible. I mean, he has to consider the fact that given when Trinomi found Sharp Shadow, it basically had to be in Resting Grounds, since all of the green path items are deep to the point where you can't get to them in the time Trinomi got Sharp Shadow. So it depends on whether X wants to follow Trinomi or have some route deviation. I think he'll go to Green Path though, personally.
I think he will too, because him knowing that Sharp Shadow is in Resting Grounds, that's
Reduces
half the checks
the
gone.
item count. Yeah.
So, I mean, we know that Claw is the other one, but the chances in Axe's mind that anything else could be there, I mean,
It's really low.
One shot at it. So, Green Path probably the better play.
But in all
mathematically,
fairness, X won't really lose too much time in Green Path. It would be much worse if you had Mantis Claw and no Mothwing Cloak right now, because then he would really be losing a lot of time. But
right, because there are checks you can't make, specifically
right,
Thorns, but
yeah, and the Geo chest would require a Shade skip or a Fireball skip instead of just dashing over there. Yeah, Mantis Claw is really good mid game, but early game, it's not actually that huge in terms of helping your movement out. The terrain really isn't designed around it either.
it'll be really interesting to see what's here at Mantis Lords, because
Yeah, X kind of had to abandon that because of not having, well, really what he needed to check the items here. But with Claw on Trinomi's side, this is a very fast check.
right, and the chances that Axe comes back here later in the run are very low.
Yeah, Mantis Lords, generally, if you skip it on the first pass, it's really hard to justify coming back here. Ax did open the shortcut though, so it's easier than it would be otherwise if you were coming from Dartmouth, but still not great. Let's see. Crystal Heart. That's going to be a little painful for Ax to miss out on. It's better for Trinomi than it is for Ax, but still, early on in the seed, Crystal Heart is really nice.
Plus that Queen's Garden goal in the middle of the board will require that as well.
It will. Queen's Garden requires it. It makes the Crystal Peak grubs a good bit easier.
And possible.
True. It is possible.
I don't know if that method is allowed in the tournament, though.
Yes, I was about to say, I don't believe the path from Dartmouth is definitely not allowed under NMG rule set. I don't believe you can shade skip from the right side.
No. There's a spot up there that requires a wall cling super dash that you obviously can't do without both of those, so...
Right, so, yes, that is actually going to be required for Crystal Peak grubs, so Trinomi will be very happy to have found that. Meanwhile, looks like Ax just found more Geo at the Green Path chest. So, not having too much luck on his side.
This is kind of what I really like about Rando, though. Just one difference in choice early on is causing this cascade effect between the two runners.
Wow, X. Just not finding any items, really. I mean, early on, finding lots of geo pickups can actually be fairly frustrating because it's not helping you much after you've already checked all the shops for all the useful items there. Would be another thing if you'd had to pass up on a really nice spell or something because it costs 500 geo. But all the nice geo block charms are goals on Trinomi's side, so not Ax2u's. This is interesting to me, what Trinomi is doing, because Trinomi spent a good bit of time getting relics on his way out of fungal wastes. I kind of expected him to go straight to City of Tears to cash those in and start moving on some goals. But Trinomi has said before in interviews that he likes to finish all of his item checking before he starts work on goals. And we might be seeing that here. Okay, X survives. Balder Shell only finds Fluke Nest there. Still a useful charm with base Vengeful Spirit, though a good bit harder to use. As for the chat asking why Trinomi should still look for items, well, Dream Nail is fairly useful for him still. 2 goals in row 2 are blocked by it. That said, in this position, I do think that going for goals is a superior strategy. If Trinomi would think about it, he has a pretty strong item advantage, no matter what route Ax2u's taken. It can't be as optimal as what Trinomi has done.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the more important parts about playing Rando Bingo against an opponent is you have to constantly be walking this line between going and searching for things and then trying to go for goals because, you know, the playing field is constantly changing. So, you know, it is a skill that you learn over time, but it's not one that can be perfected because you can never know the position your opponent is in at any given time.
Yeah, that's very true. That said, when you have an opportunity to advance across the board and potentially steal goals from the other side, you generally want to capitalize on that as quickly as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Because your opponent has every reason to try and play defensively and counteract that as soon as possible. So you have to pounce on those windows of opportunity. I think that this is one of those cases, too, where you can look at row 5 and see that while row 5 has quite a few goals which will be reasonable to do, you know, in a decent time frame, none of those goals are, you know, first 30-40 minute goals. It takes a good while to get to City of Tears and start working on that stuff. And so during that time frame, where row 1 is easy penetration into the board, that's when you should delay your item searching and capitalize, I think. Let's see, Ax is on his last green path item, and it's
Nothing.
just heavy blow.
Thankfully, the seed pointing him the direction of resting grounds right now.
That is lucky, but it's still, what, 10 minutes wasted on that trip? And
For sure. And
none of the geo pickups were significant enough to be worth the time investment.
And the potential loss of Crystal Heart being at Mantis Lords.
Yeah, a really rough play for him. Also, we'll see if Trinomi makes the play, given how he is dedicated to item searching. But a very nice thing you can do with Mantis Claw is go up and check Howling Cliffs right after Balder Shell. Much faster than coming in from Green Path. And gets you access to that really nice King's Idol at the bottom of the area. Obviously not available to Ax without Mantis Claw.
Bapanada.
Interesting, Ax is buying Unbreakable Strength. Is he also going to buy Fragile Heart? He's thinking about it. Yeah.
Alright, well.
Oh, that is a goal in reserve for Ax. Interesting decision. He hasn't been buying maps, so he hasn't made any passive progress on row 2, or row 4 rather.
This is going to work out well for him though when he goes to Resting Grounds and finds Claw.
True.
Because he can immediately duck down and go to City of Tears and then
do his talk to Lem with Crest, and then go fight Soulmaster. So both very quick with his item set.
Yeah, get very quickly across the board, and with how long Trinomi's taking, just checking items and not trying to get to the middle of the board and assert his dominance.
Right. And keep in mind that I don't remember the exact prices, but it could be pretty difficult for Trinomi to afford all of Deep Focus, Quick Focus, Fragile Heart, and Fragile Strength after Green Pass Stag. It'll be close, I think. But Ax definitely needs Trinomi to come up short on Geo there in order to get that Fragile goal, I think. Because I do think Trinomi will get to the shops before Ax can get to Soulmaster. And this is very interesting from Ax to me. And by interesting, I mean bad, to be clear.
You're expecting him to do the true ending skip?
I would prefer that, yeah. Because, well, he can't check D-Dark here. And the only item he could find at at Resting Grounds that would help him progress is D-Dive, which we know isn't there. But I will moderate my claim because I was being a little forgetful for a moment there. And I thought Ax already had Mantis Claw, so that he had the very easy Shade skip.
No, he'd have to do the true ending one. I'm not sure if he's familiar with that skip as much.
He probably isn't. I don't believe Ax has ever run True End seriously, if he even has at all. So, definitely, if you haven't practiced that skip, better to avoid it, since it costs a lot of time to set up and a lot of time to reset if you miss it. You know, compared to that, it's much faster to just come to Resting Grounds, get Mantis Claw, stag back to Crossroads, and do the easy Shade skip. Yeah, and you saw how effortlessly he handled that Mothwing Cloak Dark Room. X actually has been a big proponent of the no crystal heart strategy used in all skills NMG. So no surprises there to see him do that strat so easily.
Ax is going to be kicking himself, though, in about a minute here.
Yeah, once he finds Mantis Claw at Dream Shield, a location which, incidentally, Ax is known for missing, he will be very frustrated.
Perfect. The perfect meme. And despair.
Yep, he now knows that Trinomi has had a huge advantage over him for, what, almost 20 minutes now.
Mm-hmm. Trinomi almost got the soft lock of her Hornet there.
Yep.
Really close.
Luckily, Hornet tends to fall straight down when she's near the wall like that. It takes a really... You have to do something strange on the final hit in order to get her wedged into the gate there. And it does look like X is going to go right into that Shade Skip here. His only other options would be Mantis Lords, Wraiths, or Deep Nest at this point, I think. So this is definitely his best choice. It'll get him moving towards goals. While Trinomi is still in Green Path. Gotta go check Great Slash. Not a check you see early normally, but it is an option with all of these items Trinomi has found. Oh! Just barely missing that recovery wall jump. Would have been possible to reset that if he had just gotten a higher pogo off of the... Oh, what are these? Durandos?
Did no one else see that on Ax's screen? That was pretty
I
good.
was not watching that. I'm sorry.
He killed his Shade.
That's impressive. Did he think it had 20 HP?
He thought it had 3 hits worth of HP.
It should.
It should,
Maybe
but he has strength as well equipped, so...
Oh, I see. So, it had 15 HP, but he had 16 damage with those 2 hits. That is too good. In Shape of Un, so... A long check from Trinomi with a few unfortunate hazard respawns. What is Ax doing? Alright, looks like Trinomi has come back to buy out the shops. And he's starting with Dirt. Probably planning his own Shade Skip here, so he wants to do Salubra last. And it does look like with starting with 1600 Geo here, he'll be able to afford everything. So, Ax will be out of luck on those Fragile Charms. Probably will still be happy to have them, even without the goal, but a little frustrating for sure. Also
So-
worth noting that as soon as Trinomi gets to City, you'll have that additional stag station goal. So Trinomi is moving on a lot of different fronts at this point.
And here comes the 2-goal snipe. There it is.
Yep, there it is. It's also interesting to me that Ax did not equip Defender's Crest here. He may be planning on taking the Watcher Knight bench to do that, but he'll have to go out to Lem a second time in order to get that goal. Not sure what he wants to get with this Geo at the moment. Maybe Elegant Key for 2 soul warriors, but that's a little ways out here. At a time when I think he needs to focus on goals against Trinomi.
Do we know how many maps Ax has bought right now? I don't think he has any, right?
Yeah, I believe it is 0. Oh, and we're gonna get a glowing womb check from Trinomi. Very easy with Crystal Heart, of course. Okay, Ax is going to take this bench. Probably means he's committing to a Soul Sanctum play, since this will leave him very far away from a stag station.
Oh,
The other
interesting.
thing I wanted to point out was I do find it a little interesting that both runners are preferring Strength right now to Fluke Nest. I know the meme is that Fluke Nest was ruined by current patch, but it would still double their damage with Vengeful Spirit. Well, more than double, in fact.
It's really
would be
tough
really-
to justify
yeah.
using it though when you're not used to it, especially.
That's true.
I
It
don't know.
takes a lot of practice, though I would expect Axe would be fairly familiar from 106%.
Yeah.
But like going into Soul Sanctum, where it can one-shot all of the Soul Twisters, really tear through Soulmaster as well. But it has disadvantages too. The range is enough to ruin it on its own.
Yeah. Plus, for if you're killing just normal enemies, a lot of times VS going through them and hitting 2 or 3 of them in a row is really useful, which you don't get with Fluke Nest.
Yeah. Definitely. The range and lack of penetration of Fluke Nest make it a fairly bad charm.
Great boss killer though. So
Yes. If they don't find any damage further into the seed, I would really like to see that against Hornet 2. I do think that would be faster than just strength against her.
Trinomi skipping the grub in Crystal Peaks there. The grub is on
Interesting.
his side of the board, so
Yeah, that is not a goal he can get right now, but if he goes ahead and gets all the grubs that aren't dive blocked right now, then he can have a really quick return trip to just get the one at Descending Dark afterwards. This is sort of funny on Trinomi's side too. We see a lot of runners who have no idea how to get through here using the intended strat of Crystal Heart.
that cycle there, the second from the
It's-
last, is brutal.
It's very counterintuitive, and it requires you to wait a fairly long time to get the clean passage. Meanwhile, Ax barely surviving the first room of Soul Sanctum.
Hopefully Chernomi will not sit at this bench after he kills CG1.
Chernomi does have the option to set up a death here, come back, and shade skip.
No.
the-
That's so slow, and you only have one chance.
I'm just saying, there is a way.
This will be nice for Ax, though. He'll be getting to the middle of the board here very shortly.
Yes, definitely. X doesn't have any good options in row 3 at the moment, but just going ahead and taking care of row 2 is nice because he really has to defend those goals from Chernomi at this point. If I were him, I would start immediately back up on row 5 to try and protect 6 maps or 2 Soul Warriors as well. Though row 4 is so easy in general, I don't think that he can protect it completely.
Right. Although marking Soulmaster will help de-incentivize the 2 Soul... Oh my goodness, I can't talk. The 2 Soul Warriors for Chernomi. At least a little bit. Because he'll know that he's up there.
Right.
But yeah, you're right.
I do
no
feel
way.
like there's... Like, if nothing else, Chernomi is guaranteed to eventually get 15 grubs before X. Because of having the Crystal Peak goal and so many incentives to collect grubs at this point.
Right.
I think.
Shade Cloak being found at the Watcher Knight, the Soulmaster chest.
Is Shade Cloak going to be a factor in this?
I was just about to ask. I don't think it's even needed for anything here.
No, I don't see anything.
Unless, of course, something is at
Sharp Shadow as an
but...
item. Yeah. That is the only use case for it right now. It could be seeing that Sharp Shadow Dream Nail. Followed by Dream Gate at Abyss Shriek.
Yeah, you could get into Queen's Garden with Shade Cloak, but they already had access to that with Claw and Crystal Heart. Although Ax doesn't right now because
even just Claw, actually.
True, you could come up from below.
Yep. Not most people's preferred way to get in there, but you need Claw or Wings and one of Tier or Shade Cloak to get in there.
Yeah, unfortunately that goal requires Super Dash anyway for the final
Claw,
grub, so...
Yeah, that final grub is quite inaccessible.
I have tried for a very long time without Crystal Heart to get that. Lifeblood Heart being found at this chest.
Alright, that's halfway to another row 3 goal. Disappointing for Ax, because it's going to take him a really long time to get over there. It looks like Ax is going back down to get Lem right now. Probably wants to go out through X is confusing me. I'm sorry, I can't commentate this.
I think he's confusing himself. He probably wants to go back up and get the... Where are you going?
Trinomi has found Joni's blessing.
Oh, did he forget to check Spell Twister?
Or... You gotta be kidding me, did he?
That's the only
How?
reason he'd come back up here.
I mean, I have to admit, Ax is the best 105% speedrunner, so forgetting charms is his specialty. I didn't expect it to be this one, though.
I also would have expected him to bench at the one just below Shade Soul there, and then come up here and get this. I don't think
did he
he has a
not
hard
bench there?
save right now.
I thought he benched there,
Maybe he did.
because someone posted in chat mocking him for waiting on the bench.
Okay,
Yes.
he must have. He's quitting out right away.
Is this the deep nest play from Trinomi? I mean, I like deep nest plays, but like I said before, not quite the one here, I don't think.
Yeah, this is a bit confusing to me as well.
I'd really like to see Kingdom's Edge play from Trinomi, actually. He has a lot of good reasons to go there. You know, he can check the 2 items that are accessible, do Hornet 2, you know, set up the Coliseum shortcut, even do Pale Lurker while he's there.
Plus, he still needs to get to right side and get that Queens and Kings Stag Station goal.
He does. He really does. Curious that Ax is not selling all. He
There he
figured
does.
out the secret cheat code for that. Yeah, the other downside of making this play right now for Trinomi is he doesn't have Shade Cloak. So the value of this particular play is, you know, reduced by a third.
Is he rushing Hive Knight?
He could. I mean, this item set is not great for Hive Knight, but that is definitely an option. Let's see, though, I think that if you're in Trinomi's position, 6 maps is so fast, like, how do you not go for that?
Well, and you know that right now Axe is not going to take it because he physically can't mark it.
Right,
Granted-
like, if Ax had 2 goals in row 5 and you didn't know what he was working on from row 4, then yeah, going for Hive Knight, which you know is something Ax will avoid, would make sense. As it is, though, Hive Knight is possibly the worst goal in row 4. Maybe 15 Krebs is worse than it, depending on how you route it, but...
Right.
And certainly, you're not in a... Trinomi isn't in a position where he desperately needs to find a good item at High Flood, which Ax won't find. Like, Trinomi isn't desperate for items. Or for an advantage.
Watch him find Dreamnail or something at Hive Blood now.
That would be funny. I won't lie, though. I think that Ax may be a little relieved if Trinomi marks Hive Knight, because they'll know that, you know, Trinomi has spent a lot of time on a goal which Ax didn't want to take the time to get anyways.
Right. I would be scratching my head in that scenario. Be like, this is really the goal that you wanted to come get right now? Is Hive Knight?
Especially if Ax does make a Crystal Peak play here, and is able to get that Lifeblood Heart Joni's Blessing combo. All of a sudden, Ax will be able to get a row 2 gold, possibly. You know,
yeah.
He might decide to rush Pale Lurker. While Trinomi is down here, he is not going to get anything in row 1. So he's definitely not getting the Lifeblood Heart Joni's Blessing for a long time.
He could be making the swing down here to get Tram Pass, go and kill Hive Knight, and then go over to Hornet 2, which kind of makes up for it a little bit, but I still think the order is backwards.
Yeah, the routing into Kingdom's Edge with Tram Pass isn't bad, but you generally want to have another reason to go do it. Like, just taking the tram to Kingdom's Edge is definitely not good enough on its own. In the same way that Hive Blood isn't good enough on its own to justify checking, unless you think it'll give you a substantial advantage over your opponent.
Well, it looks like that's what he's doing. He's going out to Kingdom's Edge with the tram.
Yeah, he's really rushing it too. I mean, we see he's not even taking the time to go check the 2 items which are in logic right now at Weaver's Den.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Do you stop and take the time to check those now? I think I would personally, because you're here.
If I were making an unnecessary deepness play to not get goals, I would definitely be trying to get items out of it.
Yeah, especially since they are later sphere goals.
Yeah, those are, especially the Weaver's Chest right now, very high value.
Not goals, checks. Later sphere checks. You know what I meant.
The other good incentive to go over there is that you can grab that distant station, which will be nice for getting Queen's Garden grubs.
Ooh, Ax getting nailed too right now, while Trinomi is going out to get the pale ore.
Oh, interesting. This will waste a bit of time from Trinomi.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to turn around immediately now.
I think that once you come out this far, you kind of mentally commit to it. It's hard to justify the safe quit. You might even tell yourself, oh, it'll still be useful to get nailed too.
Which it probably will. There aren't...
But then it's hard to work in the revisit when it doesn't get you a goal.
Right.
Or the Smith visit, rather. Yep, I'm a big proponent of Tram Pass normally, but I think that even with routing in these extra checks, it was still not worthwhile for Trinomi. Going right away to King's Station would be a much better use of his time.
And he's skipping Hive Night, too.
That's interesting. Maybe feeling a little threatened by Ax, or wants to get a bit more firepower, possibly for these 2 checks up here.
I'm really confused by this routing right now. I mean...
Yeah, I'm trying to find logic to it, but I definitely would not do this myself.
Especially since he has Claw and Crystal Heart, so he wouldn't even have to do a Shade Skip at Salubra. You just Super Dash right on over. And
yeah, true.
He was there to do it when he bought all those charms there, so it would have worked perfectly down into right side of City.
And
he hasn't
there's
been to
never
City yet. I'm just confused.
Buying a map now. Maybe he didn't realize that goal was something he could go for, and now he's decided that he wants to get it while he has the option, and while Ax has the ability to mark it as well. Also, kind of interesting to note that Ax is not making a move towards 6 maps. Maybe Ax will try and buy the Crystal Peak one while he's here, but I think Trinobi should have 4 in the shop at the moment.
I think Ax is just waiting until he goes to enough areas to be able to just buy all of them there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a very good way to get the 6 maps goal sniped from you. You have to take some initiative on that.
There we go. Trinomi finally marking this goal, or getting this goal.
Yep,
that goal is... he could have had 20 minutes ago.
Yep. Obviously, was never really in danger of being sniped from him, but still, while he was exploring the bottom of the world, Ax could have made a play that would endanger it.
It just seems like a really big time loss to me. I mean,
yeah.
Make a huge detour to get only Tram Pass. I mean, is that really worth it? That took him at least 10 minutes.
And he didn't do anything with it either.
No. I think at that point you almost, since he invested so much time into it, you almost have to commit to Hive
play?
Yeah, you almost have to commit to Hive at that point.
Right, and like you don't want to go turn around, get 6 maps, and go back there because then you're just giving yourself a reserve goal, which who knows when you'll be able to mark.
This will be interesting to see. It looks like he's going to go and get his nail upgrade. Get nail 2 regardless.
Well, he might have decided after he got Trampass maybe that he wanted to get nail 2 in order to fight Hive Knight. This Hive Knight certainly is not an easy fight, especially with base Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah.
Which I have in fact discovered for myself a few months ago when I ran Hive Blood Percent. Very fun category, actually, but a fairly difficult fight at the end of it.
Yeah, Trinomi doesn't have enough money right now. He will get it here. Actually, how much does he even get?
1800.
1800.
So,
He's just... Okay, he's not going to get nail 2.
Interesting. I thought I was on the same page as you there, but
I think
maybe he wants
there,
Lantern.
just get it.
Maybe he wants Lantern to go back to D-Nest.
Especially with using strength here. Nail 2 just dominates any boss.
Oh, this is rough for Ax. He doesn't have Crystal Heart, and now he won't get Lifeblood Heart.
Oh, because that was at that chest, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's really bad for him if he doesn't go back. Ax needs to find Lifeblood Heart Johnny's Blessing right now. I think because otherwise row 3 will be impenetrable.
So Trinomi up to 4 maps now, I think.
Did he buy 3 from the shop?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd go to Howling Cliffs right now.
Yeah, Howling Cliffs and Ancient Basin are really good. Frankly, I'm sort of surprised he didn't make a map play while he was there, but he might not have been thinking about the goal at the time.
Nope. Nope, never mind. Or maybe he's thinking, oh boy, are they both going to buy this key at the same time? They are.
We're going to see both of them go for 2 Soul Warriors. Ax will have an advantage on that goal. Ax has Nail 2 and he's already killed one of them. Oh, but is Ax doing this instead? You don't have a simple key, dude. Surprisingly enough, the elegant key does not open simple locks.
It's not a skeleton key.
It opens ornate locks.
That's a little unfortunate. He just lost a little bit of time there.
I wonder if X meant to buy the elegant key. It certainly didn't look like it, but maybe he thought that he got the simple key from City Storerooms.
Oh, I think he meant to get it. He's been setting up this play for a while.
Well, if he's been setting up the 2 simple key play, then why didn't he get the simple key from City Storerooms?
He already did.
Did he?
Yep.
Did he open Waterways?
Yes, he did.
I missed that then. I'm sorry.
So he's used 1.
I see. So he wanted... Okay. I do feel like I should point out that a strategy you'll see a lot of people do, which I really don't like in Invasion Bingo, is hoarding goals on your base row. And just for like a simple way to explain why that's generally a bad idea, when Ax gets 3 goals in his first row, you know, he gets to get the best goal in his row, then the second best, then the third best. If, on the other hand, Ax had expanded up along with a different goal from each row, he could have picked the best goal from each row and pretty much be very likely to do a much faster series of checks that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, general strategy
like,
for this is
not always the case. There's always exceptions, and
right.
2 simple keys definitely isn't a long goal. But
Yeah.
It also is compromising his board position while he waits, is the other thing to consider.
Yes, board position is very important in invasion, and
Yeah,
general rule of thumb is you want to get to the opponent's side and keep them from getting easy goals as much as you can.
right, because like if Axe full clears his row while Trinomi only gets 4 goals along a column, then that leaves Axe in a position where he now has to pick from the goals Trinomi passed up in order to advance out of his base row.
Right. In this case, the simple key one is probably the right play to make if he had 300 more geo. Because that one, coupled with 6 maps, is very snipeable. The same with 2 Soul Warriors. 2 pretty simple goals.
Right, that's why I was saying earlier that I think that you kind of look at row 4 and the goals it has, it's impossible to defend. The only thing you really can do in this situation is try and staunch the bleeding by taking something in row 3, so that Trinomi won't be able to get 2 row 4 goals. No matter what goal Axe gets from row 4, there will be another one that's just as attractive for Trinomi to snatch.
So that's 5 maps now for Trinomi, just needs 1 more.
Yep, lots of options for it, but a lot of times with maps, you'll see runners get a bit of paralysis. You have to remember where they are, decide which one is fastest. We'll see.
Do you
what
think he
Trinomi
goes?
ends up doing.
Do you think he goes all the way up into Soul Sanctum and finishes that?
It's a good question. I mean, he's here with the Elegant Key. Trinomi has been really big on checking items so far. He shouldn't do it. He knows Axe has checked everything here, and Axe certainly hasn't shown any signs of marking goals which would have been item locked.
Right, but which goals would he even mark that would be item locked? Elder who? Otherwise, mean you're looking at wings, in which case he's not gonna have that goal for quite a while.
I think the biggest thing Trinomi wants by a fair margin is dive right now. So that gets him Fluke Hermit and Grubs and Crystal Peak. Not a lot of goals, but really fast goals, maybe, would be a good way to put it.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. It's
Looks like he's leaving.
We know that's the correct play. It's really hard to pass up 3 fast checks in Soul Sanctum, though.
It definitely is. Trinomi may be a little self-conscious, though, of how much time he has spent checking items at this point. Or he might want to simple key, maybe be thinking about a Waterways play. That is on the table. Just 1 item that's accessible there, though. Not a great place to set up a Crystal Heart dash.
That's a new kind of triple failure on the Crystal Dash there.
Okay, Axe is heading into this Kingdom's Edge.
I wonder if he goes Colo 1 here.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too as a potential option.
This would be the earliest Colo 1 I think I've ever seen if he does go there.
I think that there's a strong argument for it though,
I agree.
because of Pale Lurker right there. By the time he reveals that he has gotten Colo 1, it'll be way too late for Trinomi to backtrack for the Pale Lurker goal.
Yeah, there's 3 goals out here. Colo 1, Pale Lurker, and Hornet 2.
I think that a strong argument can be made to do Hornet 2 first and hold that in reserve while you get the other 2.
Yep, work your way up and end at the Coliseum for sure.
Right. Obviously, that's a bit of a gambit, but that blocks the counterplay.
Not useful.
Nail Master scoring. Yeah, unfortunately for Axe, it is missing that Lifeblood Heart and Crystal Peak is so painful for him because that goal would be really powerful at this point. probably a five or so minute difference compared to Call of 1. And like with Claude's, no problem to backtrack back up from the chest. You just have to remember that it's hard to get out of the Crystal Heart room.
What is Trinomi doing back in Crystal Peak? He just
Good
coming
question.
up here for the map?
Grubs? Maybe? He got all the items.
It must just
Yeah,
be
looks
the
like
map.
the map.
Wow.
Okay, that was it. Is he gonna get the grubs?
He skipped
Doesn't
on the
look
one on
like
the
it.
spike gauntlet, so
Yeah, looks like he just wants more Geo. I mean, he spent a lot, but maybe he wants Lantern now. Okay, what did Trinomi just remember that he wants? It can't be the grub, because
he skipped one.
there's a grub to the left. He could open the shortcut back here, which wouldn't be an awful idea. The Crossroads entrance is perfectly good enough for grub hunting. Alright, Ax is not going to take a early Hornet 2 Gambit. Gonna hope that he can still beat Trinomi to that goal after he's revealed the other two.
I would have liked to see him go to Hornet 2 here. I mean, it's not really in threat of being taken right now, and it is a big time commitment, but...
Yeah, I do also think it would be... And the Abyss play definitely isn't great at the moment, but it is a nice way to eke out an advantage over Trinomi.
Right, especially since he
if
could...
it does have dive, you
Yeah,
know.
and he could mark all three at the same time and just kind of spring them on Trinomi.
Right. Well, it's still possible that we'll see him go for grabbing the first two, putting them in reserve, and then marking those shortly before defeating Hornet 2.
Mm-hmm.
Since certainly I don't think he's terribly worried about Call of 1 or Pale Lurker getting sniped.
No, especially not at this point.
Yeah, he knows that those are not in Trinomi's sight.
We might need to go back and take a look at all the grubs that Trinomi has grabbed here, because I'm not sure he's even grabbed the one before Crystal Heart.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, because we know he's missed the Spike Gauntlet one, and we know he can't get the dive one right now.
He's also, I'm pretty sure he's missed the left side one, the one that's blocked by Crystal Heart.
Yes, he has not gotten that one either.
Yeah, the one I'm not sure about is the center crusher room. I don't remember if he checked that. Would like to see X play this Coliseum a bit more conservatively. He's damage tanking an awful lot. It's not going to be terribly hard with Nail 2, but still.
Nail 2 and Strength. So
any kind of death here would be extraordinarily costly.
Yes. It is nice though, he's so powerful right now. Better than Nail 3.
X is the third place Zote percent runner, so Zote percent NMG, so he has extensive experience with under-equipped Call of 1. Despite being behind someone who got second place on current patch.
Trinomi does pick up the Lifeblood Heart goal right now.
Putting that in reserve.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what he's thinking. Are we going to see Trinomi make the Pale Lurker play? That would be huge for Ax if Trinomi got distracted like that.
He's heading that way right now.
I
mean, Ax is going to be a little while longer here in the Coliseum. This could end up being sniped.
I think Ax has maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes left. It's going to be really close. Oh, Ax needs to just hit the spikes. Okay, or do that. Okay, he is struggling a lot with this fight, considering what his nail damage is. There he gets it. Yeah, without wings, Trinomi can't do the upper shortcut, even though he has Crystal Heart. So, I think that movement time gonna make this really close, but probably still put it in Tronomi's favor.
If he doesn't go and check some other things or stop at Hornet 2, he's gonna have to rush straight there.
If he goes for Dash Slash here, which I expect he would,
Yeah.
that could give Ax2u time. Meanwhile, on the same vein, if Ax2u just skipped Dash Slash, you know.
Right. I wonder if he... Oh, man. This is a little bit painful. I bet he stops at Hornet 2 because it's on his home row.
Yep.
Even though Pale Lurker would be the better play, I don't think he's going to make it there
Hornet
anyway.
2's. Yeah, Ax2u's really close now. Just the Gruz Mothers after this, and he'll be done.
However, Tronomi could end up getting the Hornet 2 goal and blocking the home row snipe from Ax.
That is true, but yeah, once that home row is endangered, I mean, all it takes is Ax finding wings or dive before Tronomi, and he'll still get a goal out of it.
Oh, he's going up there. Oh, no.
Well,
This is bad, actually, because there's no way Ax loses this to Tronomi.
So, and this is going to make for a very tight race back to Hornet 2, depending on when Ax marks Pale Lurker. Note that Ax has not marked Coliseum 1 yet.
Which I think is the right play. You don't want to reveal that you've done that and where you are right now.
Right, note that Tronomi cannot mark Coliseum 1, so you'd have to assume that Tronomi is also working on that goal and has something in row 2 in reserve, which is a little far-fetched, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing here is Ax has a substantial damage advantage over Tronomi with that nail 2.
That's why this is so detrimental for Tronomi. He needs to be fighting Hornet 2 right now, because Ax is going to be able to make up that time, no problem. Oh god.
Ax does need to have a good Pale Lurker fight here.
I think it's almost
really
over, though.
Damage tanking against this guy is plenty good enough usually, since he only has 290 health.
I wonder... See, this could be huge, though, too. If Ax decides to hold on to these goals to try and spring all 3 on Tronomi...
Well, that would break the reserve rule, correct?
No, because he only has Kala 1 and Pale Lurker in reserve right now.
Right, but he would have to mark those before acquiring Hornet 2.
He would, but this gives Tronomi a little bit more time to potentially kill Pale Lurker.
Hopefully
and snipe
Ax
it from him by marking it.
Ax should just save quit here. Trying to climb out of this room is unnecessary.
There he goes. He just marked it. Tronomi's gonna be so upset.
I don't believe Tronomi is hard saved at Coliseum, though, right? Just passing over the bench shouldn't do it.
Correct.
Unless he did bench her. I wasn't watching the screen too closely.
You just gotta save quit now, Tronomi. There's no point in fighting this now.
Right. And Tronomi might want a simple key, maybe, but he certainly doesn't need one. He already has one in inventory.
Right.
And there's no goals which would require it. No hot springs, no, what's her name? Gigi. And there are no goals at all that require God. But who knows, maybe Tronomi has immense foresight, and he knows that, he just alt-tabbed and realized. Not even picking up the simple key, either.
That's really unfortunate.
I was going to say maybe Tronomi had the insane foresight to know that he was going to, die in a really inconvenient place and have to get his shape back. But that does not seem to be the play here, leaving the simple key behind. Alright, Ax is going to have a slightly more challenging Aspen Pogo than normal. You can't push it around quite so much when it dies in 2 hits, but I am sure he won't have trouble here.
Yep, no problem. You only need to do
Yeah,
it once.
It's really easy when you have Nail Zero because you can quite literally push the Aspen where you want it to go.
Oh my god. I think if you're Trinomi, you almost have to abandon this.
Yes, you have to realize that the whole linchpin of Ax2u's strategy would be to delay showing those goals. And worse than that, Trinomi should already know that he saw those late, because it was already marked by the time he finished Veil Lurker.
Yep.
Presumably, Trinomi did not see the board at the instant Ax marked them. So he knows that Ax has some indeterminate lead, possibly as much as 2 minutes going into this. And he's still going to do this Aspen Pogo.
I mean, if you want to go to the Abyss, you're still going to have to do this. Where are you going, Ax?
Whoa, Ax chickens out. He thinks Trinomi is going to beat him here, I guess. But I don't think this makes sense. I don't think you should assume that.
Unless maybe he wants to change his kit or something. I'm really confused why he just did that.
I think Ax decided that he likes wasting time. That's my philosophy. Oh, did he have Invisible Hornet too?
Oh, did he?
That's what chat is saying. Wow.
That sucks. I didn't even notice that. I just saw
that was almost decisive. If he has that a second time, that will be huge. Wow.
It should be fine now after a save quit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's have a pause for this. And we can't exactly reveal what the problem is, but Ax definitely deserves to be able to get into the fight ahead of Trinomi.
Looks like he has to, yeah. This is one surefire way to fix it, though, is to quit all the way out of the game, then come back in.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, too, is that I've had Invisible Hollow Knight and stuff like that get replicated.
Oh, God. He just told him where he is.
Did he? He just said Invisible Boss.
Well, right, but Trinomi has to know he's in Kingdom's Edge right now.
I mean... Oh no, Ax is going to do his countdown from the bench.
You know, I don't honestly think it matters. Ax is going to have such a huge damage advantage here that even with this 20 seconds difference, he should be able to beat Hornet 2
Oh my god,
before.
this is going to be so close.
Oh.
This sucks for Ax2u because he would have easily had this goal without the glitch. I don't know if the fight's going to be fast enough. Ax has to make up 40 seconds here. Maybe even a minute.
Yeah, but Trinomi's doing 5 damage per hit here, and Ax is going to be doing 20.
That is true. Ax will have mega DPS here. But he is not having a great fight right now. He needs to have a Trinomi caliber fight in order to beat Trinomi.
I should say Trinomi's doing 8 damage right now because he has fragile strength.
Oh, he does have fragile strength, yeah.
But still, that pales in comparison to the damage that Ax can do.
Ax does need to be very fast in marking this goal. That is really unfortunate for Trinomi.
1 hit away too. Oh my god.
That sucks. I mean, if the rule had been enforced so that Ax got back to his starting position. Well, what can you say? Yeah, just an unfortunate situation. Where a crash was so decisive in the casting of a goal. Or a bug rather than a crash, I suppose.
Poof. That takes the wind out of your sails really quickly, though.
Yeah, there's just not much to say after that, right? Like, Ax had a really, really good route up until the bug struck him. Now that obviously that being in Trinomi's rail wasn't a progression goal for him.
Yeah.
So it's not as costly to miss it, but it definitely helps Trinomi a lot, not losing that goal.
If Ax would have also stopped it immediately too, and then quit out on the first time that it happened, he wins that goal. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, it is painful. Ax is definitely tilted right now.
oh, I would be too. Lose out on a goal by 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
Exactly.
He's probably gonna blow up in the discussion chat after the race, I would guess.
Oh, you bet.
And it's not totally unwarranted either, so...
Yeah, I mean, if that goal ends up being decisive, I don't know.
I don't
would
know
be
that it
very
will be. I
frustrating.
think Ax has too much of an advantage right now.
You think Ax has the advantage?
I do.
I guess he has definitely penetrated into Trinomi's camp a fair bit.
Plus he's routed a lot better up till now as well.
Yeah, Ax has more checks than Trinomi does too, I believe. Trinomi's only advantage is that Lifeblood Heart. Whereas Ax has... Oh, and Crystal Heart, duh.
Right.
And Great Slash check too, I suppose. Whereas Ax has all of Soul Sanctum. Is Ax going to check Watcher Knights here? No, he is not, because he can't do the Spire Fogo. But if he could, he might have.
No, I agree, Pete, that it is... I mean, if we played a functional game, this wouldn't be an issue, but...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is. So... And it's we talked about this in a race before, but it's really tough to build a rule around this specifically because... You know, it could be a 15-minute difference letting someone else get back to the spot they were at. They would have checked all the things already. And if there's nothing useful there, then you just skip that 15 minutes again. So in this scenario, yeah, it probably would be better for Ax to go back to the boss room where he was when the glitch happened. But it's really difficult to make a rule that just catches all possible scenarios and, you know, makes it okay to watch as well. Interesting to note, though, with Trinomi fighting Broken Vessel here and going to get wings.
Yeah,
He's the only one that can do it.
Really slow and far out goal. Ax could do the Shade Skip to get over here, since he does have nail upgrades and base Vengeful Spirit, but he probably doesn't want to.
No, it's awful.
Is Ax going for 15 grubs? This certainly is not a grub I would think about getting, but whatever. I mean...
It's pretty quick if you're going to do Watcher Knight's chest anyway.
I suppose.
Watcher Knight's going to be a very quick and easy fight with essentially Nail 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that buff Nail 2 with Fragile Strength is really powerful. And if this is Dream Nail, then that is huge for Ax. Obviously, I think he really wants that Elder Who and Galleon goals to help his board position right now.
What was that wings? I missed it.
I missed it too. I was watching the crowd. Oh, it was Wraiths, I believe. Which is actually really nice. Since
is
that
very
makes
nice.
this Abyss play reasonable. You're not just going for the one item. Yeah, that's a tough place for Wraiths to be with the other copy and in Resting Grounds. If Dive or Dreamnail is down here, that'll be...
It was Geo? Okay, so he had race already.
Oh.
Never mind then.
Where was Wraiths then? Or is that a tracker glitch? No, Shinobi definitely has Wraiths.
I don't remember
So
where it
he gets
was.
Broken Vessel.
Dash slash, not that helpful.
Okay, so that won't be important. Though it could still be a factor if Wraiths keeps Ax out of Abyss and not checking Shade Cloak while he waits to find Wraiths. Also, it's always sad to see a person who doesn't know how to fight Hunter Knights. And look at that.
Oh, yeah, he's a 106 runner, so he is used to having way more upgrades here.
Yeah, he just flukes this. So, he doesn't know how to fight the boss without using, you know, dirty tricks and garbage. I talk this way partly because before coming on to commentate, I was doing low percent practice on this fight, which is not the most pleasant. Very fun, actually, but also quite difficult.
Oh god, Chernomi. Falling all the way down.
This is an awful death to take too. And very easy as well.
That's actually a huge find for Axe right now.
What was it?
It was Dive.
The Chernomi. Dive? That is great. Obviously Descending Dark and Axe's home row. And I would not be surprised to see a Fluke Farm play right now, going into Fluke Hermit afterwards.
Yeah, there's that. Then there's the chest in Resting Grounds as well, which is now available.
As
Dive
well
actually
as
opens
Soul
up
Eater.
a lot.
Yeah, I would go for that goal, which Chernomi probably isn't close to. And so in a way, this is kind of a blessing in disguise for Axe, since, you know, you'll still be able to get a goal from Chernomi's home row. Alright, what is it? Isma's here.
Interesting. Both players finding progression one after each other in very different locations.
Yeah, and we all know that Shape of Un is heavily favored by the logic for late progression items.
I like that
Or
both players
tends to
are
be.
doing a go to where what you just got opens up.
Yeah, I really like seeing that from Axe. This Waterways is an area that really tends to escape people, especially after all the other items were added in. It's harder to make time to come here
Mm-hmm.
for just 2 items, or 1 without dive. Actually, one of my worst losses in a bingo, I think it was a 2v2 actually, came in a seed which had dive at Dunk Defender. Just because without dive you're so conditioned to not come here.
Right. Normally you want to clear it all at once, but
Because sometimes you don't get that option, and you have to be willing to set a point in time at which you're still going to make that check even if you haven't found dive yet, or else you'll be giving up the seed that way. This could be another fight that causes Axe some trouble.
was that was Dreamnail over on Chernomi's screen?
Yes, that was. And only Shade Soul, I say, on Axe's side. Not what he wanted to see, I think. Especially at this point, Chernomi can go grab Zero, he can grab Elder Who. I mean, even Galleon.
And start the Grim Quest as well.
True. Yeah, that's definitely an option.
Yes, Ax is currently doing Blue Kermit.
Yeah, and Shinobi could see that dream nail as go modes. He has six goals at the moment. So I don't think this dream nail on its own might be enough, but yeah, he doesn't need dive to finish the seed for sure. If he rushes goals at this point, I don't think Ax can stop him.
Yeah, especially if he gets to 4 grubs, doesn't take all that long to get, then he'll have another goal there. Yeah, this is looking worse for Ax now. Although Ax can beat him to a couple of different goals. Not many at this point, but he could block him
Right.
at Hive Night potentially.
Yeah, I hope Ax doesn't go for this for too long, and he does eventually fail it, but that is not possible without wings, I don't believe.
I don't think it's even possible with wings.
It is possible with wings. I've done it myself, but oh, what I was going to say before actually is that this is turning uncomfortably close to a situation where that Hornet 2 goal could be decisive, in the sense where you know, it'll allow Trinobi to start building 3 across without having to find dive or wings.
Mm-hmm.
Which was one of the major deficiencies of his starting row in the first place.
Okay, Ax taking this goal from the home row.
Don't do that, Ax. Ax is going to be quite disappointed to discover that Junk Pit doesn't have a bench, but it does have a hard save.
I thought he knew that.
Apparently, he didn't know it well enough. Ax could also have his judgment clouded at this point.
Ax now knows that Dreamnail is on the board.
We'll see if this incentivizes him to make a quick Abyss play. He could do it right after Tongue Defender, if that's what he chooses.
I think that would be a good play. I mean, and he's not
He should have
incentivized to go to wings either, so.
no, and he doesn't need to. Yeah, it would be a really slow check if he decided to do that. Yeah, so Dung Defender into Abyss seems really good to me right now. The only unfortunate thing with that, he can't check Shriek, so that'll keep him out of there. Yeah, and he can't check wings, or he doesn't have wings, so it's really hard to get out of Mason.
Yep, Dung has not been checked yet. So this will be the first time we'll see this.
I think, in a lot of ways, Ax needs Dung Defender to beat Dream now, the other copy, or the other dive. He needs to get a goal out of this, because I don't think he has the time for another battle. With how fast Astronomy is going to move through this. Ax might not even have time for Dream Nail, with how many of these goals Astronomy is going to get.
I mean, regardless, this seed is going to go back to searching. Because
is it going to go back for searching for Trinobi?
Yes, because he's going to need...
he will have to get Crystal Guardian too.
Right, which requires wings. He'll need to save the grub, which requires dive.
Right, so Trinomi needs to find something which we haven't found yet in order to win this seed. Ax does not. I believe that with the current board position, Ax can win with just this Elder Who goal. But once Trinomi takes this away, he will probably need Descending Dark on his side. I don't know.
Yeah, regardless, I think we're going to be seeing...
Yeah, I think
some more
this is
searching.
going to be close. It is still 8-8. So I do like Ax not going straight for items in Abyss. With Trinomi on the move here, Ax, I was gonna say Ax needs to get goals, but what really can he get other than Hive Knight?
That might be it. And he might be making the play. Oh, it looks like he is. He's going for Abyss right now. Or not Abyss. Deep Nest right now.
Well, he can get all 3 items from Deep Nest, so not awful. Ax decide. Take the bench. Oh my god. Ax's save quit is still in waterways, so he's at half HP. Oh my god, Ax is choking.
Has anyone checked Wraiths yet?
Yes, Trinomi checked
did.
it. It was Balder Shell.
Interesting that Ax is not going to resting grounds.
I despise this check right now. It is so slow. Oh wait, yeah, and Ax is lost in Monkey.
I think the right thing to do right now, since you have dive, you just found it. Maybe he
Yeah,
forgot
good.
he has it now, but the resting ground is 2 quick checks right next to a stag.
Oh, maybe he wants to enter Queen's Garden right now and go to Deep Nest that way. That
Work his
could be
way to
it.
the right, maybe?
But even if he wants to enter Queen's Garden, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be really slow from this entrance.
Right. He could save 2 out of the 3 grubs there.
Yeah, in a way, this may be a blessing in disguise because Trinomi will mark Hive Knight before Ax gets to Deep Nest going this route, but it'll end up being time wasted unless Weaver's Den or Sharp Shadow is something really good. Like, that's what Ax has to hope for with this play. Or that Trinomi dies to Hive Knight, I suppose.
How often has Trinomi fought Hive Knight? Not very often, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's... Well, Trinomi has Pantheon 3 experience with Hive Knight.
Yeah.
Though, obviously, the strats for that are not exactly transferable to Rando.
For sure not.
But yeah, this right here, which Ax was seeing, is why I don't like checking early items late. Like, if you leave behind Wraiths early on, I think that that's something you kind of commit to. The same way that you normally commit to leaving behind Mantis Lords.
Right. You would expect for those early checks that your opponent would be marking things a lot sooner than they have if there was something important there.
Right, not to mention, race is highly disfavored by the logic. And what is Ax doing? Like, I'm sorry, but if he's not going to Queen's Garden, then what is he doing?
He must realize that his save is still back in...
Waterways?
Yeah, so probably just going back to Queen Station?
Well, that's one way to lose a few minutes.
Yeah, he could have just sat on it quick while he was leaving.
And had low HP and every reason to bench, but oh well, I don't want to be too critical.
Ooh, Trinomi having a tough time with Hive Knight so far. He has an enormous
fortunately,
HP
Trinomi
pool,
has a lot of HP, so I would be very shocked to see him lose this fight. But Hive Knight can sometimes get a little out of control once you've run out of stuns.
Should be dead very soon, I think.
Yeah, this shouldn't be a long fight. With Strength and Vengeful Spirit.
Oh. One hit away. Oh god. This is gonna be close! Wow. The clutch
Wow.
fight at the end by Trinomi.
Yeah, this is coming very close to game now. Ax is indecisive.
Well, this looks like it was Ax's play to
Yeah,
get on the Hive Knight, but...
Hive Blood is worthless. We'll see what Ax decides to do.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Ax is just, he's lost now. Now, not lost the game, but like, confused and
yeah,
lost.
Ax doesn't know what he wants to check.
Right. He had, you know, that specific route in his mind, and then ever since it got sniped from him, he's kind of been at a loss for where to route to next.
Right, and seeing this indecision is honestly worse than anything else, because with a lot of these, if he could commit to a play to check items or to get specific goals, he could still outplay Trinomi here.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you know, there's moments of indecision, error, or compounding upon themselves.
And in a race like this, it's very easy to start losing your routing this late because the two players start to step on each other's toes a little bit, and, you know...
Looks like Ax may be going to Glowing Womb or D-Dark. Hopefully D-Dark. That's probably the best he can scavenge out of this.
Looks like he's getting some grubs.
Oh.
Rushing the 15 grub goal, potentially?
I mean, that is a goal he needs to get here in this situation. I would say that that is key to his victory at this point. He needs to force Trinomi to look for dive, and he needs to hope that the other dive upgrade is awful. Yeah, or, at best, dive blocked.
He needs to check resting grounds. I mean, I've got a feeling that it's there.
Yeah, if it's at D-Dark or if it's in the Catacombs, then X still has an out here. If dive is somewhere accessible we just haven't checked, like the Deep Nest items possibly, then I think Trinomi will win. With only 3 goals to go.
Where is Trinomi headed now? Is he heading to Waterways?
I think the play here, which Trinomi should make, is one you suggested earlier, to go to Grimchild. I mean, if he gets Grimchild, then the 3 Grubs in Queen's Garden, that puts him at 12. Neither of those goals are in danger of being sniped. Trinomi may not know that, but I mean, when you have a lead like this, you can afford to go for slow goals, because you know your opponent can't afford to do that.
Right. At this point, it's pretty safe from Trinomi's perspective to know that Ax does not have Dreamnail.
Right.
So.
Or even if Ax did have Dreamnail, Ax certainly would have no reason to work on Grimchild, a goal he can't mark that's incredibly difficult to get.
Right.
Whereas the Stung Defender play from Trinomi is a blessing for Ax. Long Nail is not winning Trinomi any cards anytime soon.
At least not this one. Maybe the one where Long Nail Mark of Pride's on the board, but...
Yeah, maybe
today.
that one.
Ax might actually beat him to this 15 grub goal.
I think he will. There are no grubs in Waterways that Trinomi will be able to get.
Plus, Trinomi can't mark the goal anyway, but...
Yeah, the 15 grub goal is heavily blockaded for Trinomi. We will get to see what Grub Song is here. This could be very helpful for Ax.
Hey, the best charm in the game. Well, where was Dive again? I don't remember.
It was at Watcher Nights. So.
Oh yeah, I don't think Trinomi goes there.
Right. That's what I was saying before. Is that if the other dive is missing, it's a really good chance that Trinomi checks Watcher Nights last. But that really is an if and only if, right? Like
right.
if dive is accessible, then Trinomi has too many options for Ax to come back from this, I think.
Oof, that hazard respawn. The other edge of the room.
Where was Ismasteer?
That was at Shade Cloak.
Okay.
So that is
Yeah,
available
that's-
right now to Ax. But then
Right,
he would have to
it's
connect
available,
that into
but
Isma's.
very unattractive.
Yep.
So Ax's best hope at getting into Queen's Gardens is well, he can enter through the Shade Cloak entrance.
Thank
Ultimately,
you.
though, in order to get the grub goal, he'll have to check Mantis Lords.
He's finally checking resting grounds. Thank you, Ax.
This will get him his last grub too, so it's a good synergy in a couple of ways.
Well, you don't have any soul, bud.
Yeah, try again.
I've made that mistake way too many times. Drop all the way down to realize that, nope, you need to go hit the statue.
I mean, it's a little unfortunate responding to what we're being accused of in chat, but it's much easier to criticize runners than it is to fawn over their bad decisions, especially when we're in a position to know how bad they are.
That is huge for Ax.
Okay, that Ax can get Galleon now. He will still go check this last item. If it's Descending Dark, that will be huge for him. Ax's hands are shaking. Okay, not quite Descending Dark.
What do you go for here as Ax?
You have to go
It's gotta
for
be
Galleon.
Galleon, right?
Yeah, you can't mark anything else. You only have 2 Dreamnail goals left.
That and then Grimchild.
Yeah, and
This-
honestly, Ax shouldn't go for Grimchild because he should wait until he finds Crystal Heart before investing any time into that goal.
Right. And obviously we know where that is, but
Yeah, Ax, without knowing where Crystal Heart is, yeah, that could be a long time for him. But yeah, that Dreamnail is very fortuitous. Galleon isn't a goal which Trinomi can mark right now, but a very good goal nonetheless.
I wonder what we see from Trinomi here. What can he do right now? Grimchild, that's about it.
Yeah, Grimchild is the only goal which Trinomi has everything he needs to mark. Now, I find it really interesting that we still haven't seen Eclipse play. Trinomi buying Lantern may be the sign of it right now. Like, with Trinomi's early Mantis Claw, like, I would have checked Cliffs right after Baldur Shell. I know I said that before, but yeah, 2 very fast items.
We could potentially see a dive here too, which would be...
Exactly. That would... Or Wings would swing the balance of this race immediately. And conversely, we could see Wings down here at Deep Nest. You know, Ax may be willing to check that without Lantern. We'll have to see.
Maybe. I don't know what his experience with Dark Deep Nest is for running
Yeah.
around in there.
It is a little difficult without Wings. But with Claw and Dash, you have a lot of consistent movement normalizers.
I'd love to see him check Sharp Shadow here.
Yes, Sharp Shadow is a must check in my mind. It's incredibly fast. And he should have no reason not to bench Chapter, I think.
He does
Right.
not have Tram Pass yet, so he could make this just one quick Deep Nest visit,
Yeah,
do everything, and then leave out the tram.
true. Oh, not going to Sharp Shadow here. Interesting.
Maybe on the way out.
Yeah, possibly a little worried that Trinomi could snipe this.
I would be too. We haven't seen anything from Trinomi for quite a while, so...
That's true, but that would require Trinomi to have something in row 2 in reserve, which is... Again, you know, you'd wonder why is Trinomi hiding something there.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those goals take a long time to get. Ax doesn't
what are
know
you
the
doing?
movement here.
In this case, I really like
Yeah,
what
this
both
is-
players are doing. They're doing what
Yes.
they should be doing at the moment.
Right, I'm a huge fan of the deepness play from Ax at this stage in the game. Like, 3 items, a guaranteed goal, a lot of good reasons to make this play. Unfortunately, Ax seems to be fairly clueless about the movement without wings here. That 106 inexperience showing through, unfortunately.
Just getting torn apart by chat. Of course you like the deepness play.
Well, I was very clear that I thought a deepness play in the first hour would be awful. A deepness play now in the third hour makes a lot of sense because it has relatively high item density out of the areas we haven't checked.
Plus, it always... I was going to say something that I don't want to say. Never mind. I was going to say that it always made more sense for Ax to come here, but that's not necessarily true. We were more commentating on Trinomi's trip here,
Right.
which
We said that-
made zero
right.
sense.
Trinomi's trip made no sense. Ax's trip wouldn't have made much sense, but it would... Like, you could somehow make some sort of justification for it, though it would still not be advantageous.
All right,
Okay,
here we
so
go.
this Isthmus check will be a moment of truth for the race. If this is nothing, then Trinomi keeps on searching for quite a while, I think.
Did Trinomi check Cyclone Slash?
Yes, he did, and it wasn't anything... Or it wasn't dive, which is all that matters at this point.
Please do not die, Ax. Come on.
Yeah, Ax is not
That's
having the
almost
fight
over.
in play.
Nice.
Yes, takes him down.
That's got to be a huge relief for him. Yeah, at this
See,
point,
yes.
I think you go back up, you get Tram Pass, then you save quit out, check Sharp Shadow, and leave.
I would check Weaver's Den, but if you don't know the room, you don't want to waste time this late in the race. He is heading down. Better be careful not to hit the spikes in the bottom. Okay, he knows.
Oh boy. Where's he go? Is he heading into the main deepness room? He is.
That's what it looks like.
Gonna heal up here on the
I like
devout.
it. Devouts don't notice when they're being dream nailed. Oh, we could see a sync here. In which case, it is hugely important right now for Ax to check Weaver's Den before Trinomi gets there, since Trinomi has Lantern and can mark Descending Dark if it... Or, no, he can't because he doesn't have time.
He needs the other copy yet.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not quite so important. Also, Trinomi doesn't have Sharp Shadow, Shade Cloak. So if Sharp Shadow is the other dive, that'll also be bad. Okay, Ax gives up. And that room gets out of hand. It's hard to recover. So, not a bad play from him. Let's see what's at Sharp Shadow. If it's wings, this is still really nice for Ax.
He's got to go back and get Tram Pass.
I'd check what's at Sharp Shadow first. It could be helpful.
Potentially, yeah. Unless he's gonna go back and try and get to Weaver Song again.
The thing is that if you're not going to get Tram Pass,
He's deciding. Looks like he is going to Tram first.
okay, then, yeah. I wish that he had bought Lantern before coming down here, since he had no reason to rush this. Still doesn't know the movement, by the way. Right, but look how much Geo Ax has to have come here without Lantern.
Yeah, he could have made a quick stop up in Dirtmouth and got it.
Right. Recall Galleon was not in danger of being sniped.
But pretty much at this point, Trinomi is back on the search for
Right.
anything.
And Shinobi is rapidly narrowing down the item list. Like, the only dive block location we have left is V-Dark, I believe. So, Ax needs some vanilla magic out of that. Though, I guess you could argue whether it's more important at this point for dive to be blocked or for wings to be blocked. I think that the 7 grubs in Crystal Peak is more valuable than Crystal Guardian 2.
It's hard to say at this
Since
point.
Trinomi is so reluctant to do Grimchild. Okay, so there's one bust.
That's good for Ax. Ax needs this second item to be a bust as well.
Yes.
Because he
And
cannot reach this yet.
Ax needs to give up on this too. He can't come back here.
Steady body. Weaver's
Okay,
Den
that
is a
is-
bust.
That is wonderful. Ax's decision to save quit there not only got him out of a sticky situation, but also saved him time which would have been wasted. Yes, upgrading Grimchild takes an enormously long time. Ax cannot do it with his current item set. It will require Crystal Heart.
Interesting that Trinomi's not going for the Grimchild. I still think that's a play he should be making right now.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said before, Trinomi could get 12 goals that way by doing Queen's Garden afterwards.
Oh, Gathering Swarm.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, what are we missing at this point? We haven't seen D-Dark, of course. We haven't seen Shape of On.
Which Trinomi is heading towards now.
Does this have to be one of the 2 items?
There's other things we're missing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we've seen Soul Catcher.
There's a high chance, though, that this is progression.
Right, Wings, very possibly.
Quick Slash, you're right, we haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, Quick Slash. So there are actually 2 dive block items at this point. It would be really good for Ax if both of those were Wings and Dive.
Oh, can you imagine second dive being behind that?
That would be
huge
evil.
for Ax. Alright, what do we got here?
This is the moment of truth. I think this is one of the
Oh my
last good
God.
options. Grubberfly. I think Trinomi will do Soul Sanctum before Watcher Knights. That'll
Has
be
he
a
still
slow-
not done Soul Sanctum yet?
No, he hasn't.
Oh my, I'm sure he will then.
Because he knows that Ax has dive. So, surely right now you would think, oh, that's because dive was at Soul Sanctum, not, oh, that's because Ax did a crazy early Watcher Knights play. That being said, Ax still only has a few minutes before Trinomi is done with that. And I believe, if you look at the card with where it is right now, Grimchild, 3 grubs in Queen's Garden, and 7 grubs in Crystal Peak all require Crystal Heart. In other words, there is no path to victory for Ax which does not pass through Mantis Lords. He needs to go there now. Finding the other dive upgrade isn't a priority.
That's tough. I mean, he's gonna need to get the other dive upgrade. Oh, he's going to Watcher Knights. This is bad news for Ax.
Yeah, yeah, this is really bad.
Looks like Ax is going to Crystal Peak though.
That's a bad play for Ax.
Unless second dive is behind.
But second dive is not a progression.
Well, right, but he needs that goal because Trinomi's running out of checks, and so
Right.
after
He could
Trinomi gets this,
Right. Ax could win with those 3 goals in the middle of the card, but he doesn't have the progress on them to catch up to Trinomi. Yeah, unfortunately, Ax is going to make this play, and it's going to be the wrong one.
only maybe.
Wings wouldn't help Ax. Dive is only a goal.
mean, this whole card could end up a search for Crystal Guardian 2 for wings.
True. Once again, though, that requires Trinomi to not get all 3 Crystal Heart block goals before Ax gets Crystal Heart.
Right.
Note that... Oh wait, no, Trinomi can't get all 3 of those, actually. I stand corrected. That Trinomi will have to find wings in order to finish this.
Yeah, because right now he can only mark one of the
Or wait,
goals in
wings or
O2.
dive. Wings or dive. Trinomi can finish.
Because they each need 3 goals. So
Right,
Trinomi
Ax
will get
could-
1 and 2, 3, and
Right.
potentially 5.
Right,
So-
Ax could get all 3 goals with just Crystal Heart. Whereas Trinomi needs D-Dark or Wings to finish.
Right.
So there's the first dive. We'll see what Trinomi makes out of it. Interesting that he doesn't safe quit and head straight to Crystal Peak. Like, to me, the play into 7 grubs and then Queen's Garden seems pretty obvious. Even if you're not in go mode yet. Like, yeah, and he realizes. It's very possible Trinomi will be coming back to Soul Sanctum later on. But, no reason to do it now. Also, Ax is making an awful play here. Full stop.
I mean, he needs this progress anyway.
He doesn't, though. I mean, this isn't a goal Ax is going to get marked. Trinomi will mark it before him. Not only that, he doesn't have the items in order to get this goal. And he's nowhere close to being able to get that. I would rather see him just rush the chest here in D-Dark as well. And see if he even gets Crystal Heart there before he commits to getting these grubs, which are quite slow. Like, he's losing minutes to rescuing these.
Yeah, I mean, if he does eventually end up getting this goal, regardless though, he's gonna have to split this up into 2 trips because he can't get this grub that's right next to Crystal Heart right now, and he can't get the grub that's on the left side. Granted, the one on the left side is very quick to get to if you come from Dirtmouth, but he's gonna have to commit all the way to the deepest part of Crystal Peak again to get that last grub.
Well, like, this grub right here, I mean, this takes no time at all when you come back for the left grub. And instead, I don't know if Ax will even... Trinomi needs, what, 3 more grubs at this point? So... he's like 2 or 3 minutes away from it.
Yeah, Trinomi gets this goal for sure, and then likely goes to Queen's Garden.
Ax is going to be face-palming hard when he finds this Lifeblood Heart. Yeah, this... we talked a lot about Hornet 2's impact, but this was really a race-deciding bad decision from Ax's part, I think.
That's right, he quit out when he was here for this, right?
Right, because he checked Crystal Heart first when he shouldn't have.
Right.
With Claw, you have no reason to check that first. He basically orphaned that spot.
Just think though, guys, this is only race 1 of 2 of the night.
That's right.
We
There's
have another race
one.
coming up after this one.
And wow, has this already been fairly intense. Oh no. This is going to be tough for Ax2u. This fireball skip is not easy.
Yeah, it is not. That guy respawns on transition Ax. You can go back out. Especially with him having dive here.
Dive, yeah, I hate doing triple fireball skips with dive.
There have been so many times where I've just dived straight down into resting grounds trying to do this.
Okay, this is a moment of truth. If Ax fails this jump in his D-Dark, that is And that has to give Trinomi this
Oh,
race.
he makes it.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yeah, if this is Wings, I think it's over. This has to be D-Dark for Ax.
Yeah, vanilla D-Dark or, yeah, GG. Absolutely. Nice snipe, I like that. Ax showing off some fancy movement from 106.
Yeah, great to
Oh
see.
no.
No, that's the end. After Trinomi gets 7 grubs, we'll just back out for Crystal Guardian 2. Finish off with Queen's Garden. The only counterplay Ax has at this point is to immediately... What is he doing? What on earth is Ax doing?
Maybe thinking he can get some more grubs up in there.
And he's wasted so much time on this Crystal Peak play already. That I wouldn't be surprised, but still. Ax's only counterplay at this point is to go straight to Mantis Lords, get Crystal Heart before Trinomi kills Crystal Guardian 2. That way Ax is the first one into Queen's Gardens.
Well, now Ax knows that Trinomi has found Wings.
Yep. And it's interesting to note, actually, that Hornet 2 is not an important goal with this discovery. Because of where Wings was. If Trinomi had lost Hornet 2, he could have just held this 7 grubs goal in reserve and come back and gotten this Crystal Guardian 2 goal in order to mark it.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Ax going?
He's going back to Crystal Peak again?
Did he not notice that Trinomi marked the goal already? The goal that he couldn't get, but he wasted minutes trying to get anyways.
Oh, he hasn't checked Deep Focus, though. Maybe he thinks
Has
it's
he
there.
not? Oh yeah, because he didn't have Crystal Heart. That's where Wraiths was, wasn't it?
Yes.
That makes sense now. Yep, Ax has given up on Mantis Lords now.
Ax, you couldn't have marked CG2 anyway.
Ax is just raging. I don't know what he's doing. Does he think he's lost?
Yeah, you're right, though. The Hornet 2 thing actually, in this case, doesn't really make much of a difference.
Right. So, like, I think that if we imagine an alternate scenario where Ax takes Hornet 2, then Trinomi will get 12 goals with Queen's Garden, since Ax cannot contest him on that goal at this point. Then afterwards, it just comes down to a race for where D-Dark is, and at this point Trinomi has checked more spots. Ax has given up his item lead, I believe. By a fair margin, actually. Quick Slash. And Sharp Shadow and Soul Sanctum are all that's left for Trinomi, if I'm correct. So I think Trinomi would get to D-Dark first.
That's a fair assessment to make, I think. So
Is
Trinomi...
Trinomi going to go for Grimchild first? That might be faster than Queen's Garden. I don't know. I would never go for Grimchild myself because obviously I'm less familiar with it, having never run any Hundo category, but
Again, to go back to the Hornet 2 scenario, in an alternate universe where he doesn't have Hornet 2 right now...
this was a goal he couldn't mark.
Right, but he would just go to Queen's Garden and it would be over anyway, so...
Right. Trinomi certainly should know that he can get everything in Queen's Garden. He has every movement item. He probably just feels like this is faster. And it may very well be, actually. Especially with base spells for all those Queen's Garden arenas.
I wonder if Ax has completely forgotten about fungal at this point.
He probably has. I don't think that's remotely on his radar.
Yeah.
He went through there so many times when he was wavering over whether to check Deep Nest.
If we had to boil this whole race down to one decision, we talked about it briefly earlier, but I think it has entirely to do with the choice that Trinomi made to go to Resting Grounds first, because that
made this Crystal Heart so much easier for Trinomi to get.
Yep.
And Crystal Heart is really important for this card.
Crystal Heart has decided to seed.
Just not something you see very often. Unfortunately, well, if Ax goes to Abyss, then he'll get Ismas, which doesn't help him much at this point. If Ax goes to Wings, he gets Geo, which is worse than unhelpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either way, Dromi's just not going to give him the time at this point, even if he made all the right decisions now.
Yep. Yep, this one is over. Since Trinomi found Wings, it was GG.
Yeah.
And he does have City Storeroom Stag, so getting these 3 Grimkin is gonna take no time at all.
He has this one and then the one in Green Path, so they'll be done with that in no time.
Also, probably important to note at this point too, that I know we keep going back to this Hornet 2 discussion, but I want
that has cast a rather ugly color on the race as a whole. So
it's going to get brought up after the race. So, but in that alternate reality, the Fluke Hermit goal is completely open at this point. So, Trinomi,
true, because Ax could not mark it. So
right.
That is another good point. That Trinomi wouldn't even be limited in that regard.
Right, so he could have,
of course,
gone to get that.
On the other hand,
done this anyway.
You know, it's hard to say because we've talked a lot about the strategic importance of that goal. You also have to account for the psychological impact.
Yes, I think that has had way more of an impact on Ax.
Right, Ax was very visibly tilted coming out of Kingdom's Edge. That probably inspired the very unusual Watcher Knight's play, which got him early dive. But alternatively, you could argue that also inspired him to forget about fungal wastes. You know, who knows what he does in the counterfactual.
There's Isma's. I think he's going to be kicking himself a little bit not coming here sooner.
Yeah. But yeah, so if Trinomi feels uncomfortable about the win and wants to do a re-race, that would be one thing, but I don't see any reason why he should have to, because I do think that he has won this on his own merit.
And that is GG.
13
to 10.
13 to 10.
All things Hornet 2 related aside, a very exciting race.
Oh, absolutely, and it was really close all the way. And who would have thought that such an early item find would play such a huge role?
Oh, absolutely. The first 15 minutes was the deciding factor, hands down.
Yeah, and I think that I doubt Trinomi necessarily planned around this, But the
Mhm.
fact that um, the fact that he delayed the marking those crystal heart goals for so long was actually really helpful since it put Ax in a really tough position. All right, what do you say we bring them in for an interview?
Sure.
Or Ax at least, since he has a mic.
Right. Good point.
Hello.
Hello,
Oh, hello.
hello. How are you
Oh,
feeling
hello.
after that? How are you feeling after
After
that?
that Hornet 2, pretty
Yeah,
rough.
that was really rough, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
Unfortunately, we've hashed through that 50 different ways. In the end,
Mhm.
though, the most decisive thing was not so much that goal, but the crystal heart you left behind. You have any idea where it was at this point?
I have no clue.
It was at Mantis Lords.
What?
And Trinomi,
What?
Trinomi did Dark Room early on. So when he visited to get Mantis Claw,
Oh,
he
right.
already had Mantis Claw.
Right, I never did, man. This. You're right.
And so Trinomi had Crystal Heart for basically the entire race. Um,
Yeah, I totally forgot about Mantis Lords after I visited Fungal once.
yeah, but yeah, we all felt really bad at Hornet 2 because the two of you entered so close. You having a huge advantage, damage advantage with Nail 2 over Trinomi.
hmm
But yeah, the game is as the game is, you know.
Yeah, what can
Yeah.
you do?
In the end, though, we decided that probably even if you change the board position, Tsunami would get Fluke Hermit, he would get Crystal Guardian 2 still. I don't know.
Yeah, chances are that would have happened.
Yeah, it was one of those unfortunate situations where there was just no way to get you back to Fungal Waste after you put it out of your mind for so long.
Yeah.
Pretty
That
sure
was.
as
Mhm.
well that the Descending Dark, the only item we hadn't seen by the end was Quick Slash. So,
Ah, quick slash. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good chance. Ugh.
All in all, though, really entertaining race. Like that
Oh,
was a
Yeah,
it was
blast to
it was
watch.
really fun for sure.
so close the whole way through. Really
Yeah,
exciting.
And there was a
yeah,
point in the
probably one of
middle,
my
and
favorite races
you
I've
would
been
never
part
know
of.
this, but you'll have to go back and
Hmm?
watch it. I think. You were sniping every single goal from Chernomi for a good solid 20 minutes.
I
Yeah,
mean, the two of you were
that was kind of what I
fighting
was
Pale Lurker at the same
aiming
time.
for. Yeah. Like when I saw the Colosseum Pale Lurker Hornet 2 thing, I kind of knew I had to go for it to get some kind of board control in there because there was nothing else I could have gotten in the middle row, at least for sure.
Yeah, the middle
So
was really rough for you guys.
yeah,
Um,
Tsunomi barely beat me to the fragile heart stuff. Yeah, the fragile charms. So there
oh
wasn't
yeah,
really any way out of that for me.
funny enough, I guess you wouldn't know this, but Trinomi actually got a different dream mail than you did.
Oh,
Um,
did he?
he got the one at Isma's tier, I believe.
Oh, right,
So,
because he had crystal heart, so he
Yep,
could go
that's the one
there.
he got.
yep. So
Yeah,
that's how he got it a bit earlier than you without finding dive,
yeah.
because
That
that dive was definitely an impressive play on your part. Um, finding that at
um.
Electronite so early.
Oh, right, that yeah. I mean, I kind of just like panicked after the Hornet 2 whole fiasco thing, so I just had to get something, and I got lucky with that, so that was nice.
Oh yeah, Chad is pointing out another sort of influential thing in this race. The play in which you checked Crystal Heart before the Crystal Peak chest. For Trinomi, it didn't matter since he had Crystal Heart to escape the room,
Yeah. I
and
didn't
so
realize I would be soft like that, so that
right,
was
so
definitely a bad play on my part.
yeah, and definitely, that's one of those things which really doesn't strike you because it's pretty unusual in the first place to soft lock there, but
Yeah. You don't really
because
think about it.
because Trinomi was able to escape, he got that lifeblood heart that was in the chest much earlier. And in
Yeah.
fact, he had that goal stored for quite some time. We were wondering how he was going to get there. until he found Dreamnail.
Yeah. The start in general was kind of rough for me because I decided to not go into resting grounds, and then of course Claw was in like the last goal that I could check.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, that's just what happens in Rando, really.
I mean, you can't control it, right? Claw could have
Yeah.
been just as easily up Alder Shell,
Yeah, exactly.
and in which case Trinomi would have been in an awful place, and you would have been great. So
Although I totally messed up like the whole fungal play because I like softlock and Mantis Claw because I
that's
didn't
right.
realize that was
Yeah,
gonna happen.
I was really curious when you did that explosion pogo, without any vertical movement. But
uh,
that that is one of those things with
yeah.
where you're just having the experience to remember where you're going to soft lock before you soft lock there, which can be really
Yeah.
hard, right? Like,
Yeah, it just takes some random experience, I
yeah,
guess.
they can creep up on you in a lot of places.
I bet you won't make that mistake again, though, now that you've done it once.
Yeah, that's a good
That's usually how it
chance.
works out.
Yeah, definitely. After all of my races, I've come back with a laundry list of things that I should practice. So, whoever gets to all of them.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. That was a really fun race to watch. Um,
Yeah, no problem.
really great performance all the way to the end, and thanks for putting on the show for us.
Yeah, no worries. It was a fun race for sure. I really enjoyed it. Except for the Honda 2 pot.
I mean, what can you do, right? Like, sometimes the game just inflicts awful destruction upon us.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
thing is, I was literally one nail hit from killing Honda 2 when he marked it too.
I know.
That was like soul destroying.
Just so rough, right? And
Yeah.
it was painful for us to rule in Trinomi's favor on that. So
Yeah, of course he's
I
gonna get it.
guess
Like, you can't just give
right,
it to me, even though obviously I would have gotten it, but
right, and
that was
I guess
no real proof
too,
of
you
that.
might have noticed at the beginning of this interview, I was sort of trying to show how much we searched for an out on this one.
Yeah.
I guess the other justification, um, too, is that is a glitch where if you quit out of the game on the first try, it's a guaranteed fix compared to going back in. I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because remember, you quit out, went back into the fight, and got the glitch a second time before
Oh
you
yeah. I didn't know
Ultradomi
if
and
it was
stopped
gonna.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
if
that
I
happens, I believe, on for most invisible boss cases. Is that the game won't fix itself till you reload everything.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't wanna like pause the whole race if it was just gonna get fixed by a save and quit, so
Yeah, of
I tried
course.
that first.
I completely get that. It's hard to know what to do in that scenario.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yep.
But yeah, are you guys gonna get on with the second race after that
I
now?
I think
Yep.
so. As soon as Cyplex and Velocity are ready.
So we're going to head to a short break for about 5 to 10 minutes while we get set up for this next race. So great time to run to the bathroom, get something to drink, whatever, something like that. And then we'll be back with another set of commentators, I believe. I think Pest was going to commentate. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to get that ironed out. But yeah, we'll be back shortly with the next race. So,
all right. Pop your popcorn, people.
yep, this is a perfect time.
All right.